पीछे जितना भी आपको पहले पूरा इनका
There's nothing wrong. That's why I said I battle. So that's the sweetest that we have. So this one ferments longer, so we leave more residual sugar. So we stop the make the yeast, we shut the yeast down so they stop eating it and turning it in. So it's the lower alcohol.
So the sweetest of those, the lower alcohol.
Oh yeah, that's the secret.
So all of those foods are really good with Indian food, with Asian food, with Thai food, because they balance the whole. They balance any flavours. So that's one variety of 3 different styles. Just to give you an idea.
I think I probably like this one.
That one? Yeah. So like in there, so you've got a 260 here, so it's so imagine that 4 years old.
Oh, it's a 4-year-old.
Yeah. So it just gives it a really nice flavour. And it's a bit sweeter. It's not, yeah, too sweet for you. So then this is a rosé. So now a rosé is not that great. It's rosé is not great, whereas a Riesling is great, and a Chardonnay is great, and a Pinot Noir is great. So they're both great. A rosé is a style of wine being made from red wine. So you don't do it as much. Yeah, so you don't make a red wine, you leave it on spits, you get colour. The rosé is time on spits, just to set it up. And you can get really potent rosés. They might only leave them for an hour or 2 hours. Really just a hint of hint. Everybody's got a different style that they want to make. So it's really up to the individual winemaker or what they think is going to be the popular style. So that just gives you so, but it's the coffee, if you like that, that's about the same sweetness. So not too sweet. Yeah. But a bit more. Yeah, the taste of it.
I'm ready to go. Hi James, nice to meet you. Could you please explain to us about your business?
So we're a winery. We're very small, about 7.5 hectares.
Right.
We're family owned,
Yeah.
which is the family believes the dog, Mary and me, and of course we've got the bank. So there's always the old bank, isn't it? Doesn't matter which country you come from. Bloody bank manager, as we say in between. Really very hard industry to be in. We got this property 17 years ago, and we have slaved away at what we've done here. We've built ourselves a winery. We've grown the grapes. We've taught ourselves how to make the wine and sell the wine. Hardest thing is selling the wine. We're stuck to a very traditional method of making it. I don't really like it. It's pretty basic how we make our wine. We're not fancy, we haven't got a lot of elaborate gear because we're very small. If we probably make 25,000 to 30,000 litres a year, that's probably our limit. Say that to a lot of people and they go, wow, that's a lot. It isn't, it's a drop in the ocean. Which makes it very hard for us to sell a line of wine or even try to export a line. We don't have enough volume to supply on basically what we're going to do. So pretty much that's it. We are under the laps of the weather gods, and the weather gods are what really determine the year, and that is how we're actually run. So 90% of it we can control, 10% of it is out of control. So I mean, say that's part and parcel of it. And sometimes you'll make a year and you'll think that wine's not that good, and people will love it. Some years you'll think this is absolutely stunning wine, and you'll struggle to find somebody that likes it. So it's a very personal taste and what we're doing. We're pretty hands-on. As you can see, I'm in my attire of working. So this morning, the sprayer's out the back. We've sprayed this morning. So I mean, so we're here. Had a friend call in, hadn't seen for a few years. Bought some wine, had to talk about life. That's what we're basically here. We're in a very busy location, but not enough traffic in the gate.
So would you like to show us your like orchard and
Yeah.
your other manufacturers?
Yeah, come on out
Thank
here.
you so much. Yeah.
So this time of year, this is one of the
So they're not that flexible
we
anymore.
used to have
So he
in the winter time or wrong
ये
time
इनका
of year.
देखिए स्टोरेज है पूरा प्लांट, और वो एक्सप्लेन कर रहे हैं हम लोगों को. ये देखिए. So ये
So
देखिए.
that usually sits under the garage, but we've had a few Christmas things. So that's why we're called straight 80 stone. Yeah, so that it's got 8 cylinders in a row.
Can
and
you
that's
please-
in the tasting room, but we've had a few events in there before Christmas, and I was sending it away to get a little job done on it prior to Christmas.
Do you take it like to the shows like
It's a racing car.
Yeah.
ये
So
देखिए
it's
आप
actually
रेसिंग कार
used
देखिए
more as a
पीछे.
racing
ये
car than
explain
as
So
a-
you take it to the right.
Yeah, no climbs or anything else like that, but when I get time, I'm not a show
इनका
person,
कुछ
I'm a
plant
go
आपको
person.
दिख रहा होगा.
Do you understand that?
Yeah.
So, you know, like one of my other lines is we make vintage wine for classic people.
Oh.
Or classic wine for
For the
vintage
vintage
people. So I really say, if you don't have a bit of fun in this world,
पीछे का
it's
प्लान
pretty
देखिए,
small.
एक्सप्लेन कर रहे हैं, आप लोग सुन सकते हैं.
So we're pretty shut up at the moment because
Yep.
this is limited bits and pieces. So over in that corner, you can probably take a wee picture. That's a wine press
Yes,
sitting
please.
the way to
And
be.
would you be able to explain
Yep.
about that?
So basically, in the corner over here, a lot of people don't bother. We put our wine press. This is our baby.
So it's wine press, right?
Yep, Italian,
Italian.
Italian,
Right.
and we look after it, clean it. A lot of these are usually just left outside all
Oh,
season,
yeah.
like. But we bring it in and we've made a wee cover for it because we're quite special about what we do. Along here is basically we call this like a tank farm.
Right.
So that's where the juice is. A lot of small tanks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we have quite a few small lines, and we use that for blending the wine.
Okay.
So we don't have a big resource to cull from, so we actually have to adapt a few things that we're doing. So if we walk
So
on,
all these tanks are for the same purpose.
yep,
Just
all making
just a
wine.
different size.
Yep, and pretty much that's a traditional.
That's a traditional. I know about that.
barrels.
Wooden.
Yep.
Wooden barrels.
Very expensive.
Yeah.
Yes, very. So a barrel like that new on the top is about $1,800.
Oh, that's very expensive.
Okay, and it's a bit like bang for buck. You get probably 2, maybe 3 years. They will go on and work. There isn't a problem with them. But you know, if you're wanting to make very top end wine, barrels are quite expensive. There are alternatives out there which we do use. They are a lot of work. So they're like children. Okay, they need to be tended and looked after and topped and done all of that. Whereas in a tank you can seal and basically you've got a gas.
Yeah.
It's a lot simpler. So when our hands are basically here, there's not a lot of elaborate gear.
Now we want to see your orchard, maybe.
Yep, come on out here. Don't pat the dog, it's friendly.
Right. Yeah.
So we use a lot of variable capacity tanks.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
that's
like
the-
that there has a
ये
lid
देखिए
that,
टैंक है. Oh sorry.
yeah, so we have a tank that has a lid down it. There's just bits and pieces. And in German, I'm fluent in German. I can talk German. That is a garbage stapler.
Oh.
Forklift. My one single word that I have. We've done bottling in here.
Yeah.
So we've actually had, that's why everything's higgledy-piggledy at the moment. Most of this should be back in that room. And so we've moved it round to get the bottling truck in here. So
But I must appreciate that. Like you have a beautiful packaging actually. Very solid packaging.
we try to be environmentally friendly as we can. That has done away with about 8,000 to 10,000 cardboard boxes a year, and we recycle those. They go up and we store them and we pack the wine back in them each year. We do use cardboard boxes, okay, that go out, but we have limited that down on it. Out here is
चलिए देखिए अब हम चल रहे हैं इनके औचार में जहाँ पे अपना ये लोग पूरा ये 8 हेक्टेयर
my job of waiting for it to warm up.
My goodness.
Waiting for it to warm up this afternoon and wash the sprayer. So we've been using just a bit of trace elements. So what we use at this time of the year, a little bit of sulphur to keep it's a protective. To keep all the protective and problems that we've basically done. So this area here, that nice press that we had under the cover usually sits out here at Vintage. That's a receival bin. So the harvester drops grapes into that bin and drops into the press. So this is sort of basically our workstation outside in bits and pieces. So
Do we have grapes on that?
we just have baby grapes starting now.
Right.
Okay.
So if we walk out here,
So we can see them.
so this area of New Zealand is traditionally known for growing white wine, not your big red grapes that you're basically used to. But
So-
this variety that I have here is Cabernet Franc, which
So
is
Marlborough is also the same.
you pretty much, but Marlborough is growing Sauv Blanc because that's where the market is. But we don't get that feel. It is hot out here today, but we have that breeze making it feel quite nice. So that is one of the things. So this is Cabernet Franc. So very poor flowering because we've got very head. So there's not very big bunches in here at all. With a little bit of abortion, we would call it. We better be PC on the word there. But because
We also prune them
prune
just to
them,
make them like more.
we actually prune them down to this.
Oh, okay.
So what we do is we'll take that cane or this cane here, and we'll cut everything else off, and we'll cut that and wrap it back down like you can see along there.
And how long that tree is long?
They're about 35 years old.
So one plant can give
We get
35
in
years.
Australia
This is
that
5 years.
35 years.
in Australia they got them for 100 years old,
Seriously?
Wow.
150 years old in the
Oh my
Barossa.
goodness.
But
I
you
never
get
ever heard about that.
so like you get a little bit of here. It's a bit like an amputation.
Yeah.
This one here has had disease. Bad pruning, but we've grown something up from the bottom and we try to reinstate them basically. So
So
those
to maintain them, you do it yourself or like gardener comes?
no, pruners we call them.
Oh, pruners, right?
We like Indians.
Oh, seriously, that's a good thing to know about that.
We are very short of manual labour.
Right.
So we do, another fella and myself, we do the main cuts. So we come along with a set of loppers.
Yeah.
It's all hand and we go chop, 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 chop,
Yeah.
chop. And we leave 4 canes up.
Yeah.
And then a person comes in and strips. That's not taking their clothes off. They put it all down in the row. Then I mulch it. And then we come through, somebody will come through and wrap the cane down. Select and wrap the cane down. That's pruning, we call that cane pruning. It's a lot of work.
Yes.
Um,
It's our fault.
Yeah, and so we've got 16,500 vines. Nothing to something, the people who've got 150,000. And they're cutting. Some people use electric secateurs, some people use a barrel pruner. There's so many different things that can do. We're still manual. I don't know what we're going to do this year with labour. It's so expensive. And that's one of the biggest things that is
So the area is like, all these big trees.
How
Up to that.
is it 8 hectare or how?
8 hectares, we're half vineyard, half farm.
Oh, is it?
So what do you
Yes.
do in the farm?
We've got sheep.
Oh, okay. So double
Yeah,
businessman.
so like if you walk this way,
right.
we call
Yeah.
them our workers.
तो ये इनका 8 हेक्टेयर मीन्स रफली अराउंड 15 एकड़ ज़मीन के आसपास है इनके पास. तो हाफ हेक्टेयर में वो अपना ये वाइनरी का बिजनेस करते हैं, खुद ही ग्रो करते हैं, ये देखिए। और इन्होंने एक्सप्लेन किया। और बाकी के में ये अपना सेब का बिजनेस करते हैं। न्यूजीलैंड में काफ़ी बड़ा बिजनेस है। और ये पूरा आप देख सकते हैं इन्होंने कैसे एक्सप्लेन किया कि ये जितनी भी मीन्स अपना वाइट वाइन का सीज़न है, ये सारे अपना ग्रीन ग्रेप्स हैं और इससे ये लोग जो है वाइट वाइन बनाते हैं। और दूसरा सीज़न आता है उसमें रेड वाइन बनाते हैं। ये इनका पूरा प्लांट है, ये स्टिल एक्सप्लेन कर रहे हैं इसके बारे में।
5 or 6 people in here get the majority of the work done. Do you understand what I mean? In a week or 10 days, and this is one of the problems.
So is it the wastewater or it is a creek?
Yeah. No, that's just water from the you know where the Winemaking is?
Winemaker.
The Winemaking River.
Oh, Winemaker River.
Goes
Is it
600
So it's a
coming
creek
from here?
actually.
Yeah, it is. Creek.
So how you
Wow.
get it bring here?
It's they built it. Everything's got full.
ये
my
देखिए एक
gates,
क्रीक
the
है
end of my
जो
property.
एक अपना रिवर है पास में, वहाँ से
So we can do that. Like we can take
ये
the permission
एक्सप्लेन
from
कर रहे
council
हैं
and we can
कि वो
get the
कैसे
creek.
इसके क्रीक को अपने
No, you've got to have a creek going through you.
Oh, okay.
Bits and pieces. I'd say most of my workers must be sitting down in the shade now, but I'll see if I can bring them up to work for you.
No,
Come on.
I think that's fine.
Now hang on, come on girls! Come on! Come on!
No, I think if they are taking like their break, I think that's fine.
They're only
देखिए ये
shaking,
आप
for goodness sake. Come on girls!
ये देखिए ये अपने वर्कर्स को बुला रहे हैं।
Come on!
ये कैसे बुलाते हैं क्योंकि इतना बड़ा एरिया है और इन सबको। और इन्होंने जैसे अपना बिजनेस ओनर ने बताया कि बस सिर्फ ये डॉग को भी अपना फैमिली में काउंट कर रहे हैं कि सिर्फ हस्बैंड वाइफ और डॉग और इनका बैंक अकाउंट। और ये इनका पीछे देखिए इस घर भी है यहाँ पर इनका, आप देख सकते हैं पूरा।
It's very hot today actually. There might be some under shade actually. Oh,
Come on girls!
he's calling the sheep.
Come on!
राइट।
Come on!
ओ ये देखिए ये अपनी जो है
Come on!
रेडियो
Oh, yeah,
बुला रहा है।
let me see.
वो देखिए आप सुन सकते हो
Now they
पीछे वो
hear us.
अपनी
Come on!
sheeps को बुला रहे हैं। ये देखिए किस तरीके से बुला रहे हैं।
There'll be a ringleader. Come on girls!
Oh yes!
ये देखिए
Come on! Come on girls! Come on!
देखिए
We have a sheep in India, but they never come like this.
Come on girls!
देखिए सिर्फ सीप्स को बुला रहे हैं। अभी वो सारी यहीं आ
That
जाएगी
looks very
दौड़ती हुई
impressive.
देखिए।
So
You train them well.
well, because it's quite hard, they can jump through the rows, and when you drive a vehicle down there, you've got to do it. So what I've done, and they eat the grass, we mow, and they've been in there. They eat the lower leaves, which we would normally use somebody to improve it.
ये explain
Come on,
कर रहे हैं।
girls!
ये देखिए अपनी सभी भेड़ों को बुला रहे हैं और साथ में डॉग।
Come on, girls! Come on!
ये देखिए
Come on!
ये नई चीज़ है।
Come on, girls!
I heard like in dogs also do the same role actually for sheep. If you want to, just
That's
cover
what
them.
she is. That's why you don't pet her. She's a sheepdog. And see ya? But you're old and you're not well, are you? Hey? You're old and you're not well. They're not going to come all the way. Come on, girls!
So with the 7 hectares of this farm, how many bottles we can produce approximately in a year?
My
For
husband
bottles,
is asking
everything,
question.
you'd probably
So you
get
can-
30 to 35,000 bottles.
Here about
In a year.
40,000 if you, depending on what you.
About
The
what you have.
Riesling is the biggest. You guys like sweet wine, so
Yeah,
Riesling, but you want a red sweet wine.
right, yeah.
Yeah, do you understand? Hey, look, I listen to my customers, and as I try to explain to them, we don't make a red sweet wine, we make a white sweet wine, which they're quite confused at with a Riesling compared to like Sauvignon. I'd say if you put a sweet Riesling with your Indian food, it is a match in hell.
Oh.
And heaven, I should say. It is absolutely very good, especially with the acidity. So if you've got slightly hot to your palate, okay, your food is no different than our wine. And what you do is, so there's all theories. You drink water, you drink milk, you have yogurt, you do everything else. But the acidity cuts any fat or anything else out of it and cleans your palate to go back and eat your food again. And like sweet Riesling, or even a dry Riesling, but your palates are sweet. And that's because you eat so much spicy food. Am I
He
right?
explained about our food as well.
You have a very good knowledge actually.
Come on!
And you can see how he has a good knowledge about Indian culture and
They're
our
not fair, are they,
foods about
Georgie?
that. Oh.
I think we can leave
It's
them
all
alone.
right,
I
leave
think
it,
that's
Jay.
fine.
Oh no,
Yeah.
they're only cheap. So but basically,
Yeah.
the joke was with the Chinese that arrive, and the Chinese would say to you, and don't record this.
Yeah, just froze them.
Chinese,
Yeah.
Chinese,
Okay.
men, Chinese. They're going into that block next.
Yeah.
So they've eaten, and they're eating the leaves.
Oh, yeah.
So I mean, say I hate the word
So
organic.
they don't eat these grapes and when
No, they never eat the well, one or two might chip it.
Yeah.
This, how did you train them?
But they don't like that.
No, they like that.
Or,
So they won't eat that if you but in the grape, the leaf is very palatable.
right.
The actual hard green grape isn't palatable. So it's quite chewy, it's quite hard. Let's say it's just as easy as eating a bit of meat with a gristle in it or a bit of meat with fat on it. Which one would you rather eat? It's pretty simple. And the sheep aren't dumb. They'll eat all the young leaves, preferably laterals, which are, I can show you what a lateral is. A lateral is what comes off an ordinary cane. That's a lateral. See how young and tender it is?
Yeah, yeah.
So that's off a normal cane. The sheep will eat that. We normally, if you're a really good viticulturalist, a vigor-on viticulturalist, you'd go and take all of those off. It's a lot of work,
Yes.
and at the moment with what we've got to pay on an hourly rate, that's what the sheep will eat.
Oh,
And if you, just like lettuce,
oh, is it? Oh, okay.
I wouldn't let you eat it because I've just put sulphur on it, but I know what I've put on it.
Right.
That's tender. You could chop that up.
Yeah.
Another one chefs do.
Would you like to try that one at home?
It's a little hard. They pick those, roll them together, very quickly blanch them in early time, and they taste like asparagus.
Oh, asparagus, yeah.
So there is quite a net. The sheep, and if any of those are up the top, the sheep will. They do a bit of damage. You got to control them. You got to have a talk to them every night. You know, do some whiteboard management for things. Draw them some pictures of what they're allowed to eat and what they're not allowed to eat. I'm only joking.
It's all good.
So
That was an interesting tour actually.
yeah,
It's really
that bloody sheep
good.
wouldn't come.
Very impressive.
Wouldn't come.
I got out of the tree. They're lazy.
No, they hear our voice. But
Yeah.
like, maybe they are in a different mood. Maybe.
They wouldn't
What are
come
you
in.
shooting at? What are you shooting
Very
at?
glad to know
Oh, I'm not
about
still
this
at the
process.
moment.
Never ever heard about all kind of this stuff. You people are so.
Did you James, did you show them like the receiver? But
Yep, we've done all that. We went to the press and we did that. So I mean, so we haven't got a lot of wine left over this year. Normally, we'd have 2 lines of wine at every bit. With the wine, place a bit of a pit stop, but that's okay. It's better to change.
So what we are thinking, if we have like a straight and like on Saturday or Sunday,
Yep.
so we would like to invite you to our house or some
Alright, we are going to see him.
Yeah. Not the spicy one, but
No,
maybe
just
the
come
mild one.
No, that'd be fantastic.
Yeah.
थैंक यू फॉर वॉचिंग। तो अब हम लोग जा रहे हैं रकाया रिवर, रकाया जोज रिवर में। और ये देखिए, ये अब मैंने सराउंडिंग्स पहले भी दिखा दिए थे। अब मैं आपको मिलती हूँ नेक्स्ट वीडियो में। थैंक्स फॉर वॉचिंग, थैंक्स फॉर योर ब्यूटी